Good evening, I'm Tom Ryther with this sports break. The red-hot Minnesota Twins put their 4-game winning streak on the line tonight as they continue that big series in the Big Apple. Roy Smith, who was just called up from Portland, will get the start against veteran Tommy John. Game time is set for 6:30. Well, yesterday's wins didn't help the Twins much in their quest to catch Oakland in the standings. The A's beat Seattle last night 4-1 and are hosting the Mariners this afternoon. There you see deadlocked at 4 in the 6th inning. Terry Steinbach, 2 RBIs in that game so far. Kansas City bombed Toronto, and Steve Balboni home run number 16 in that game. Well, rain strung out yesterday's fight for first in the East between Boston and Detroit until 2:30 in the morning. The Tigers eventually sweeping both games of the doubleheader and taking a 3-game lead in the division. But the two teams met again this afternoon at Tiger Stadium. In the 6th inning, Matt Noakes takes advantage of the short porch in right field with this shot to the upper deck. Tigers up 4-0. The Red Sox put themselves right back in the game as Todd Benzinger goes deep with this 2-run shot. But in the end, it wasn't enough as Doyle Alexander kept Joe Morgan and his Red Sox in check. The final from Tiger Stadium, 4-2 as we check the scoreboard. The Tigers are now 4 games up on the Red Sox. In the National League, Philadelphia behind the Cubs 5-2 in the 6th inning, and Montreal defeating the St. Louis Cardinals 5-4 in that game. The Expos did most of the damage in the 1st inning. Tim Raines flies to right field. Vince Coleman says, "What's going on?" Finds the ball. Nice throw all the way to the plate. Little too late. Expos up 1-0. Still in the 1st inning, Tom Foley triples down the right field line. 2 more runs score as Tom Bernansky tries to find the ball. No use. The Expos went on to defeat the Cards by a score of 5-4. Well, Coon Rapids gymnast Rhonda Fain has made the U.S. Olympic team as an alternate and is headed to Seoul, Korea. It all came down to the floor exercise this afternoon at the trials in Salt Lake City. Fain needed a 9.65 to earn her spot and scored a 9.67. Earlier in the day, she hit a perfect 10 on the vault. So congratulations again to Rhonda Fain of Coon Rapids, headed to Seoul as an alternate to the women's gymnastic team. Well, just over 24 hours from now, the Minnesota Vikings make their preseason debut as they entertain the New Orleans Saints at the Dome. The Vikings are a 1.5 favorite to beat the Saints in tomorrow night's opener. In some other notes, Boris Becker has advanced to tomorrow's finals of the U.S. Hardcore Championships. He'll face either John McEnroe or Robert Seguso. And finally, the U.S. Women's Amateur Golf Tournament begins Monday at Mendicati Golf Course in Minneapolis. This has been Sports Break. I'm Tom Ryther. Have a good night. Good evening. I'm Tom Ryther with this TV Heaven News Break. Veterans Park in Cold Spring was the site of a dedication last night. The Central Minnesota chapter of American Ex-Prisoners of War dedicated a monument to all former American POWs. The marker was donated by the Cold Spring Granite Company and received the support of the VFW and the American Legion. Pernina Burke is the chaplain of the Central Minnesota chapter of ex-POWs and the widow of Edward J. Burke, a POW during World War II. To her, this marker has special meaning.
It means that somebody is going to remember after I'm gone. And, you know, it's very idealistic, but wouldn't it be great if someday my great-great-grandkids would say, "What was war?"
Good evening. I'm Tom Ryther with this TV Heaven News Break. Veterans of the Korean War came home 35 years ago, but it wasn't until last night that they had a homecoming. Approximately 200 people attended the ceremony at the St. Cloud VA Hospital. One of them was Richard Oley. He fought in both World War II and Korea, and he believes the Korean veterans have been forgotten.
It's a forgotten war. A lot of people are saying, hey, we didn't realize this, and how many people were lost over there, and how many people fought over there, how many people died over there.
8,000 of those who died over there are still unaccounted for, and hopes of seeing them return to the U.S. are dim, despite the recent progress made with once silent Vietnam officials.
It's been going on for 35 years, and what has happened? Nothing. I hope it does.
A culture familiar to those who fought in Korea was also represented. Being stuck or stranded in a car during a Minnesota winter storm can become a matter of survival. You and your car must be prepared in case this happens. First things first, pack some boots, gloves, and some warm clothing in your trunk for the season. Even packing some blankets is a good idea. Next, it's time to make a homemade survival kit. First, you find an old coffee can and fill it with these items. 2 quarters, just in case you're near a phone. Also some candles to provide light and some heat. Don't forget the matches. Also some Kleenex or a small towel. And don't forget some candy bars or some other high-calorie snacks to fend off your appetite. The Minnesota State Patrol recommends keeping something red or orange in your car. This will act as a flag when you tie it to your antenna and let people know you're in trouble. The State Patrol also says not to panic. Stay with your car and stay calm.
They should stop and think about the situation, reflect what the situation they're in as far as, all right, how long is it going to be? Does it look like it's going to be a long storm? How close am I to town? Once they've thought it through, then they can set up what they're going to do. They can dress warmly, they can conserve the fuel in the tank, they could dig around the car so that the exhaust could escape from the car, and then just commit themselves to staying calm.
The State Patrol has free pamphlets containing many other tips to help you conquer Minnesota's winter wonderland of driving. Now let's return to the movie. Good evening, I'm Tom Ryther with this TV Heaven News Break. Contrary to popular belief, the job of a chimney sweep has never been a song and dance act. David Sorensen arrives for another day of work. He's been a chimney sweep for 10 years, and he has proof that it's not lonely at the top. Not as long as he has his sidekick Sparky, who has no trouble getting to the work site. This is the pair's busiest season as many people begin thinking of winter.
I think the most important thing to do is to look at it, just to be conscious of it, and the fact that you may not need cleaning, but it's smart to take a look down the hole, take a look up the hole, and see if you're in the market for a cleaning.
Sorensen was sure to point out that putting a safety cover on your chimney is a good idea.
Covers break up sparks in fireplaces, catch paper that might fly out, keep birds and animals out, and keep rain from going down the hole.
On the trip down, Sparky needs a little help from his friend. Once inside, Sorensen goes to work on the fireplace. It's a process that takes about an hour and will last for about a year, depending on the amount of use. The cost for a chimney sweep also varies, but it averages out to be about $75. Now let's return to the movie.